Either do sauce.
Like garlic and salt.
Probably garlic sauce.
A bubble more. I'm like, oh. No, the garlic makes me can't breathe.
Mm-hmm.
I don't get one.
All right, come on.
What you all do?
Sound like a hater right now.
I still want the option. What to go to?
Wait on the instructor.
Oh, okay.
I'm glad you dealing with him.
Huh?
I'm glad you dealing with him because look, homie. Okay. Y'all ready?
You might be in the right spot.
Matthew 26. Chapter. Yeah, verse.
Oh, Matthew. Hello, Matthew.
All right. So now we're gonna go to 1 Kings.
Oh,
Now we're going to 1 Kings. Let's go to 1 Kings, chapter 22. We're going to 1 Kings, chapter 22, because see now we got to understand like where these spirits is coming from, right? These spirits is coming from somewhere. These spirits that are being attached to people are coming from a position of authority. These spirits are given the authority. Yep. First Kings, chapter 22. Okay.
Yep, you in 1 Kings. So we say 1 Kings. So he said go to chapter 22. Yes, say chapter 30, 40, 14, you need to go to 22. It's not far. You're in it already. Just need to go lightly to 22. There's 17, so that means you turn these pages. Slow down.
it's 485.
Some of y'all have two different Bibles, so it's gonna be on different pages. Same chapter, different pages. Okay, y'all ready?
No. I don't know.
Chapter 22. Okay, we're gonna start at verse 19.
Boom. Did you bring me the thing from my nail? You didn't see it. You said you didn't see it.
Okay.
You didn't see it. Huh? Come back.
Now this is 1 Kings chapter 22 and verse 19, and it reads, and he said, hear thou therefore the word of the Lord. I saw the Lord sitting on his throne, and all the host of heaven standing by him on his right hand and on his left. Right. So now what you got to understand is this. What we're reading is an account of the host of heaven. The host of heaven is what we would call like the angels, and then what we would call like demons, right? But from a biblical perspective, is being referenced to as the host of heaven. All right. We have been told that angels, the good angels, is in heaven, the demons is down in hell under the ground. The Bible says that no, what we deem as bad angels is sitting right here with God. We finna read it, right? Because again, no man walk on the face of this earth have the ability, the power to resist the will of God, right? So now, God gives the authority to spirits to then influence individuals to bring forth the will of God. This is what they're saying, right? Verse 20 says, and the Lord said, who shall persuade Ahab that he may go up and fall at Ramoth Gilead? And one said on this matter, and another said on that manner. So what he's saying is the host of heaven came, God held a council, and God's saying, listen, who gonna persuade him? Who gonna convince him to go up and so he could lose, die, right? So he said, verse 21 says, and there came forth a spirit and stood before the Lord and said, I will persuade him. Verse 22. And the Lord said unto him, wherewith? And he said, I will go forth, and I will be a lying spirit in the mouth of all his prophets. Right? So he's saying that he's going to be a lying spirit in the mouth of his prophets. All right? This is what the spirit is telling God. Understand that God has given a commandment to Israel that thou shalt not lie one to another. You understand? So now, God would never put us in a situation where he will force us to commit sin, right? If your nature is not that of a liar, God will not force you to lie. Now, like I said, because we're dealing with divine intervention, God is saying what shall be done to bring forth the will of God. That will of God is to remove the king. I don't care what he did. If he was sitting down, it wouldn't have happened. So now one on. He went in there to go do something for you after you told him not to do it. If he'd have been sitting down, that wouldn't have happened. So now one on. Now, thou shalt persuade him and prevail also. Go forth and do so. So here we see God telling the spirit to go down and cause his prophets to lie to him. You understand? So now, what we're witnessing is that people can have spirits take over them in a moment. But now, if the character of the person is not fitting the situation, then you must approach the situation with the characteristics of the individual in mind. Meaning, if this person that you're encountering is an honest person, and this honest person just got caught stealing from you, you must take into account the characteristics of this honest person being honest and inquire what made you steal from me. And if they then
alert from tips, boost your productivity.
If they are then able to explain to you why that happened that way, then now you could render fair judgment. You understand? Look, man, I took that because I was hungry. My bad. I apologize. You understand? Now the Bible has instructed us on what to do in such matters. You understand? If a man steal because he is hungry, do not despise a thief. He stole that because he's hungry. But if he's caught, then he must pay back all that he owed to make the situation whole. Correct. Make sure you get back what you're supposed to get. You understand? That's what all this is saying. All right. So now verse 23 says, now therefore, behold, the Lord have put a lying spirit in the mouth of all these thy prophets, and the Lord has spoken evil concerning thee. So now remember, God said, who gonna go down here and cause Ahab to go up, fall at Ramoth Gilead, right? But here we see the prophet saying that God put the lying spirit on the prophets. But did God do it? God gave the authority for the lying spirit to do exactly what he was created to do, to cause people to lie. You understand? So now you must pray for the spiritual discernment to be able to understand what spirits you're dealing with. Now watch this. We're gonna go a little bit further because some people have spirits on them. Now go over to Luke chapter 21. Because I want you to understand some people have spirits on them. But not only do people have spirits on them, certain places have spirits on them as well. These spirits have been given dominion over certain places. You understand? Now watch this. Hold on, something right. Hold up 1 second. Hold on.
That was wrong.
Yeah, I can't rub mine, touch mine. Yeah. So, and
Let me pull this up. Okay, go to Matthew 8:32. That's 8, chapter 8. That's where we're going. Matthew chapter 8. Okay, Matthew 8. We're going to start at verse 28. All right, so now we're at Matthew chapter 8, verse 28. Now, what we're reading is
I was drinking because I had
you brought me.
What's on there?
Yeah, almost.
No, I have just got me.
Oh, you drunk all yours.
And I had another one. And I said that I did.
Well, I'm sorry for leaving off.
now in Matthew chapter 8, 28. We're going to see where people will have spirits on them, right? But these spirits that are taking hold on people will have rulership over certain areas. Okay. So now we're in Matthew chapter 8 and 28, and it reads, and when he was come to the other side into the country of the Gergarians, there met him two possessed with devils, coming out of the tombs, exceeding fierce, so that no man might pass by that way. And behold, they cried out, saying, what have we to do with thee, Jesus, thou Son of God? Art thou come hither to torment us before the time? And there was a good way off from them a herd of many swines feeding. So the devils besought him, saying, if thou cast us out, suffer us to go away into the herd of swine. Right? And he said unto them, go. And when they were come out, they went into the herd of swine, and beheld, the whole herd of swine ran violently down a steep place into the sea, and perished in the waters. Right? So again, hold on, matter of fact, I'm gonna get you a better one.
Don't put it in the plate.
All right, there we go. Go to Mark chapter 5. All right. So now we're going to start at Mark chapter 5 and verse 1. And it reads, and they came over unto the other side of the sea, into the country of the Gardens. And when he was come out of the ship, immediately there met him out of the tombs a man with an unclean spirit, who had his dwellings among the tombs. And no man could bind him, no, not with chains, because that he had been often bound with feathers and chains. And the chains had been plucked asunder by him, and the fetters broken into pieces, or in pieces. Neither could any man tame him. And always, night and day, he was in the mountains and in the tombs, crying and cutting himself with stones. But when he saw Jesus afar off, he ran and worshiped him. Now, watch this. It's something very important right here. So now you're dealing with a man that has a spirit on him, or what seems to be a spirit on him, right? This man is actually searching for deliverance from these spirits. This is why the Bible is recorded this way. We're saying that this is why Mark recorded it this way and said that when the man seen Jesus, he ran to him. Watch what happened. Right? Verse 7. And cried with a loud voice and said, what have I to do with thee, Jesus, thou Son of the Most High God? I adjure thee by God that thou torment me not. Right? For he said unto him, come out of the man, thou unclean spirit. And he asked him, what is thy name? So that Christ is communicating with the spirit. Christ is talking to the spirit that has taken over and taken control over this man. Christ is talking directly to the spirit. He ain't talking to the man. The man not in control. The spirit is. The spirit is in control over this man. So Christ is now talking directly to the spirit. Watch this. Christ said, what's your name? Again, understand that if somebody has a covetous spirit, right? And you're addressing them as though they're coming in a lying spirit, they're gonna basically tell you, look, you wrong, you don't know what you're talking about, whatever, right? Wrong discernment, because you're addressing the wrong spirit, right? Now, if they was lying, you'd be right, but they're not lying, right? They're covetous. They're coming in with covetous in the spirit. So right here, you see what Christ is saying. What's your name? I need to know exactly who I'm talking to, because I see this man got a spirit on him, right? Now watch this. And he answered, saying, my name is Legion, for we are many. So, oh, wait a minute now. This man dealing with more than one spirit at one time. Legion. When you go into the number that comes with the legion is thousands. 1 to 2,000 for a legion. So this man dealing with thousands of spirits. You understand? This is what's going on. Verse 10. And he besought him that he would not send them away out of the country. So what it's saying is, look, these spirits told Christ, look, man, I know you about to cast us out. I know you about to tell her to leave home and alone. Let us stay in this area, though. You about to cast us out. Can we just stay in the area where we at? Right? Verse 11. Now there was there nigh unto the mountains a great herd of swine feeding, and all the devils besought him, saying, send us into the swine that we may enter into them. So again, you got to understand these unclean spirits saying, look, man, just let us stay in this region, the country, the area. We'll come out of him. We'll leave him alone, but let us stay in this centralized location. You understand? They said, look, man, let us just go into the animals. Let us go into the food, the drink. You understand? Let us go into the food, that the food be so good that they become glutton and eat too much and become obese. Let us go into the drinks and they drink liquor so much that they become drunkards. See, these are sins. You understand? This is what's going on. This is what you're reading. This is the breakdown to what you're reading, right? So now verse 12 says, no, verse 13. And forthwith Jesus gave them leave. And the unclean spirits went out and entered into the swine. And the herd ran violently down and swept down a steep place into the sea. They were about 2,000. You see what I'm saying? So one legion is almost 2,000 spirits. This man had 2,000 spirits on him. Do you understand? Now, how you get to this number is being disobedient, right? I say, Yahweh, sit down. Yahweh don't follow the instruction that I just gave him, so he's being disobedient, right? That's one spirit. Second spirit is covetousness. He see that water, so now he wanted to be his. So now there's a covetous spirit. Then not only is he got a covetous spirit, now he might have a lying spirit on him, where he see that your mama done told him that water belongs to you. You turn your head, he then takes the water as though it's his. Now he's a thief. Now he got a stealing spirit on him. You see how fast these spirits could add up just solely in him taking the action of taking your water? And I ain't even went through everything else about it. What he doing and what he gonna get punished for. Because I'm gonna deal with them spirits on him, and I'm gonna deal with them directly, sir. So I advise you to get them spirits up off you before I have to. All right? Okay. So now they were about 2,000 and were choked in the sea, right? Now I want you to understand something, right? When you pray for this spiritual discernment, you yourself will become under attack. And what you must understand is this: if you're on a level 5, you're dealing with level 5 demons, level 5 problems, level 5 influences, and level 5 blessings. When you go up to a level 6, you're going to have the same level of demons and attacks, blessings, distractions, all of it. It's going to grow with it. You understand? So every single time you ask for a blessing, understand that a temptation comes with it. A distraction comes with it. So you yourself must always seek to be educated on what the distractions would be from this blessing, what the temptations would be from this blessings, what the difficult nature of sustaining yourself while you're operating in this blessing, what it would take, you understand, to sustain while you're operating in this blessing on this level. That's up to you. This is why when we go back to the sons of Zebedee, Christ said, look, y'all don't even understand what y'all asking for. Are you able to be baptized with the baptism in which I will be baptized with? Right? Because I must suffer. Right? I must give myself for the sins of the world. I must be accused of things that I did not do. I must be handed over to be killed at the hand by the hands of those who I'm coming to save. Do you understand it? This is what Christ is saying. And the sons of Zebedee is like, yeah, we could do that. Christ like, You ain't ready, but you gonna go through it. Christ said that I see you into the world. Understand when the world hates you, that they hated me first. You understand? This is what Christ is saying. So now let's go over to Luke chapter 6, because you got to understand how to deal with these things. All right. So now let's go over to Luke chapter 6. All right. So now we're at Luke chapter 6, right? We're gonna go down to verse 27. Okay. So now you're gonna have people that's gonna use your righteousness, right? In your will to serve God, and they're gonna try to use it against you. All right. And what you must understand is that you must be educated and aware of the offense that you could make towards God. So because you don't want to fall into a situation where God is now judging you and punishing you for what you've done in retaliation for what was done to you. I'll give you an example. Moses, Jesus said that Moses was the meekest man to ever walk the face of this earth. God told Moses to lead the children of Israel out of Egypt, right, into the wilderness and prepare us for the promised land. Now, in the midst of this happening, the children of Israel were just so ungrateful. We were always complaining, right? We was never satisfied. So much so that Moses, was leading us, and the children of Israel said, "Look, we're thirsty. Would God bring us out here to die of thirst? You allow God to lead us out here so we could die of thirst." God heard us complaining, and God told Moses, go over there and speak to the rock, and the rock and water will flow from the rock. Out of frustration, Moses went over there and struck the rock and hit the rock. Then, after he hit the rock, he said, "Here, Israel, you're ungrateful, murmuring. Here go your water you asked for." And when God seen it, God told Moses, I asked you to speak to the rock. You struck that rock. And because you have allowed the people to cause for you to disobey me and my order that I gave you, you will not see the promised land. Now understand this, that Moses being the leader, Moses did everything that he did. Moses went up on Mount Sinai to go get the commandments and the covenant from God and come back down, and we serving other gods and everything. And God said, "Move out the way, Moses. I'm finna kill all of them." Moses told God, "Don't do it. Take me. Kill me. Don't kill the people. Don't kill your people." See, Moses said, "Don't kill the whole entire nation," because the other nations said, will say, they God couldn't even save them. So Moses was actually thinking on a level of understanding that the people, the other nations, would actually say that God don't have the power nor the ability to even save his own people. So Moses said, "Look, just take me. I'm one man. Now ain't nobody gonna care about me. Just take me." Understand that Moses had the love of God for Israel, and Israel still made him mad enough to where he lost judgment and struck the rock after God said to speak to it, which placed him in a position to not be able to walk into the promised land. All the sacrifices Moses done made, he couldn't walk into the promised land. But even with him knowing this, he still had to be a good and faithful servant to God and Israel. Do you understand what I'm telling you? And basically, what I'm saying is this: is that y'all gonna be in situations where y'all gonna understand that people are gonna do something or do things towards y'all, and that don't mean you no good. But if God put a spirit on you to still help them folk, you better help them. Because in that moment, it's no longer them you're fighting against, it's God that you're fighting against. Because God telling you, go on over there and help them. You understand? Now watch this. We're in Luke chapter 6, verse 27. Watch this. It says, but I say unto you, which hear, love your enemies, do good to them which hate you. Right? Verse 28. Bless them that curse you, and pray for them which despitefully use you. All right. Now, you got to understand that certain people will have spirits placed upon them coming from God. And because they have a spirit on them coming from God, you don't want to be in a position where you're causing an offense to God from you for treating these people that God has placed a spirit upon a certain type of way. God's saying, I'm going to deal with them. I gave you your commandment. Love thy brother, love thy neighbor as thyself. I tell you to deal with them. You understand? This is what's going on. This is why Christ said, cast not thy pearls before swine. If you feel as though somebody around you and they don't mean you no good, and you know that they know that you are you're striving to keep the commandments, then what you do is you remove yourself from their presence so that you don't offend God by trying to protect yourself against them. You understand? This is how you operate inside these type situations. All right. Now let's go over to Matthew chapter 5. All right. Now, the reason why I said that you should separate yourself so that you don't offend is because of this. Now, we got to understand what's going on. See, in the Old Testament, we had the letter of the law. The letter of the law theoretically only judge you based off of your actions, what you actually did. Christ came and Christ basically expounded upon the letter of the law, the things that was written. And Christ said that God sees your heart, which is your mind, right? So not only would you be judged based off of what you do, but you will also be judged based off of your mindset in what you're doing, right? So now watch this. All right, now we're going to go to right here, verse 38. Go to verse 38. Okay, now it reads, ye have heard that it have been said, an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. So again, the letter of the law says, whatever somebody do to you, you have the right to do to them. But see, because we have ability to now obtain spiritual discernment. Now we now understand that although somebody might do this to you, there might be a spirit that God has placed upon them. So it might not be them, but the spirit that's operating in them. So now if you do back to them what they did to you and you don't have that spirit on you, you now fall into to a position to where you could be judged by God. God might excuse them. Because God know I put the spirit on them to do that. But you, sir, you ain't got no spirit on you, and you did that back to them. You understand? This is what Christ is getting into, right? So now verse 39 says, but I say unto you that ye resist not evil, but whosoever shall smite thee on thy right cheek, turn to him the other also. This is why I'm telling you, son, just because somebody did something to you, you ain't got to do it back to them. Your spiritual discernment will allow you the ability to adequately assess the situation. And sometimes it's best that you just remove yourself from these people's presence. You understand? This is what this is saying. Christ said, but verse 39, but I say unto you that ye resist not evil. Look, don't you do evil toward the evil. The law says written, eye for eye, tooth for a tooth. But I'm telling you, don't you do evil toward evil. Because I'm giving you the ability to obtain spiritual discernment through the Holy Spirit. This is what Christ is teaching us. You understand? So now, verse 40. And if any man will sue thee at the law and take away thy coat, let him have thy cloak also. Right? So now you got to understand that what Christ is saying is, if somebody tries to sue you, man, put in God's hand. Let what they're saying be proven in a court of law. All right? That's why I pull back up. Man, give me that paper, man. Go on about your business. Let these folks settle it. How they settle it. You see what I'm saying? Let that be settled out in a court of law. Whatever can be proven, let it be just. All right? So now, verse 41. And whosoever shall compel thee to go a mile, go with him twice. So they're saying, look, if somebody is able to convince you that they need help in such a way where they say, hey man, I need you to do this. I really need you to go a mile with me. And then you start out with them and it's a little bit longer, or you got to give a little bit more than what they thought it was. Don't do it. That's what Christ's saying. Christ is basically teaching us how to obtain, establish, and keep brotherly love. You understand? That's why we read earlier in Sirach where it said, rather than being a friend, become not an enemy. This is what Christ is teaching us, right? So now, verse 42, give to him that asketh thee, and from him that would borrow of thee, turn not thou away. So Christ saying, look, if somebody come and borrow something from you, you give it to him. All right? Don't turn them away. You got to understand this. Cast not thy pearls before swine. Man, listen, if you going to the club every weekend, you're going to go buy yourself a fresh pair of shoes every other week, don't come to me asking me for a couple dollars for your light bill, because I ain't casting my pearl before swine. You should have used better discernment to understand that your lights was coming up. Your light bill was coming up. It come up every month. You got on for a pair of shoes. You was at that club last week. You understand what I'm saying? So you use spiritual discernment to help guide your decision. This is what this is going into now. Verse 43. Ye have heard that it have been said, thou shalt love thy neighbor and hate thine enemy. Right? This is what we're reading in verse 43. We're reading this, and this is what a lot of Israelite brothers teach. You love your brother, the Israelite, but you hate the white man. You hate the Chinese man. You hate those of the other nations. This is what the average Israelite teach. And I'm telling you, son, you don't do that. You understand? The Bible instructs us. If it is possible, you live peaceably with all men, if it's possible. But if it ain't, you protect you and yours. You understand? That's it. No more, no less. I ain't saying you gotta go over here and you gotta make friends with these folks. I'm not saying that by no means. But what I am saying is you ain't gotta go over here and make enemies either. You understand? So now let's see what Christ instructing us on this though. He said, verse 44. But I say unto you, love your enemies. Right? Bless them that curse you. Do good to them that hate you. And pray for them which despitefully use you. and persecute you. Right? So Christ saying, love your enemies. See, love is the fulfillment of the law. Now watch this. I'll show you something. If love is the fulfillment of the law and you come and you impute judgment or wrongdoing upon me, right? I have the ability to retaliate towards you. I do. But I also have the ability to pray to God, and God will basically make wrong right. You understand? Certain situations, when you pray for that spiritual discernment, certain situations, you're gonna know when to retaliate and when not to retaliate. You're gonna know when to open your mouth and when not to open your mouth. You understand? Even when the act and the affliction was done towards you maliciously, these folk tried to hurt you. You understand? All right. So now, verse 45 says, the reason why you're doing this, the reason why you're praying for these folk, not retaliating, is 45. And it says, that ye may be the children of your Father, which is in heaven. For he maketh his sun to rise on the evil and on the good, and sendeth rain on the just and on the unjust. For if ye love them which love you, what reward have ye? Do not even the publicans the same? And if ye salute your brethren only, what do ye more than others? Do not even the publicans so? But ye therefore perfect. Be ye therefore perfect, even as your Father which is in heaven is perfect. This is how you strive to obtain perfection. I don't care if they're in your nation or not. You respect them just as much as you want respect rendered back to you. You understand? I don't care if they're your little brothers or not. You respect them just as much as you want them to respect you. You understand? I don't care if they're women or not. You respect them just as much as you want them to respect you. You understand? All right. Now, let's go over here to Ephesians chapter 6. Wake them two up, because this is for them. This is for y'all too, young sir. Right on time, right on time. Stand up. Ephesians chapter 6, and we're going to start at verse 1. Look at that. God is so beautiful. Right when y'all started to drift away and get comfortable all in your sleep, God said, this is the chapter for you. Son, if you sit your butt cheek down in that chair, I got something for you. So I advise you to slide it back. Young sir, thank you. Now, listen and listen carefully, because see, this is where everything started to change for you two. This is Ephesians chapter 6, and we're going to start at verse 1. Children, obey your parents in the Lord, for this is right. Remember when I be telling y'all be tripping over stuff, you just hit your feet right here, you hit your hand right there. Y'all done did something that y'all thought that we didn't know. Although we might not have the knowledge of it, God has a recording of it. So the moment that the children become disobedient towards the parents is the moment where God steps in, and then he rendered judgment. So you hit your toe and you hit your hand. So we're going to read this again. Ephesians chapter 6 and verse 1. Children, obey your parents in the Lord, for this is right. Now, what's the day? The Sabbath. Y'all are commanded to obey your parents in the Lord. If I tell y'all to do something wrong, y'all know it wrong. You don't listen to me. And if I force you to listen to me, you pray to God. God, forgive me for what I'm about to do. My dad forced me to do this. You understand? That's how this works. That's why it says in the Lord. Verse 2. Honor thy father and honor thy father and mother, which is the first commandment with promise. God said that if the children honor the mother and the father, your days will be long upon the earth. You will not wonder if you're going to die, suffer, or be tormented here on earth. If you honor your mother and your father, you will be protected by God. This is what the Bible says. Do y'all understand? Now, verse 3 says, that it may be well with thee, and thou mayest live long on earth. Stand up, son. Verse 4. See again, you got to understand. The Bible says, spare the rod, you spoil the child. So if y'all do something wrong and y'all don't get punished for it, that means that in your mind, you're going to think that the wrong that you're doing is right. And you would then start to wrong other people. So I would not allow the wrongdoing that you all do, that I am aware of, to go without punishment. You, young sir, you might want to try to shake this off and pay attention. Because this part right here for you. See, the other part was for Jeremiah, right? With a sprinkle of Noah. Right now, they're here for you and Noah. So you might want to pay attention, sir. So now, verse 4 says, now, this is where we come in at. As the parents. This is where you come in at. Jeremiah's the older brother. Then next it will be Noah. Then next will be Yahweh as older brothers. Now watch this, verse 4. And ye fathers, provoke not your children to wrath. What that means is I'm commanded not to provoke y'all to make you angry on purpose. I can't come in the house and say, what, all these dishes ain't put up the way I want them to put up, and I throw everything all around the kitchen. I can't come in and say, you didn't fold your clothes up the way I wanted you to fold your clothes up. I wanted left arm first and then right, and you ain't do it. And I come in, I destroy all your clothes in the drawer. I'm commanded not to do that. This is why y'all don't see that side of me as a father, as a God-fearing man. This is why I don't do that. All right? Now, the rest of that verse says, but bring them up in the nature and admonition of the Lord. This is why y'all keep the Sabbath. This is why y'all wear tzitzit. This is why y'all say yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, and y'all render respect unto those, whether you get it or not. This is why you all have the freedom to speak your mind, because I teach y'all it's not what you say, but how you say it. But this is why you all are taught. Stop, son. This is why you all are taught that once you say what you say, you got to stand on your square, because you will be taught to be accountable for your actions and what you say. You understand? Yes, sir. This is a commandment from God. Now watch this. Right? This goes to everybody as a whole. And verse 5 says, servants, be obedient to them that are your masters according to the flesh, with fear and trembling, in singleness of your heart, as unto Christ. So now we are commanded to be obedient to those that have positions or those that are in positions of authority over us, at the same way we're obedient unto Christ. So now this is why when y'all go to school, I tell y'all that the teacher is given the position of authority inside the classroom. You will be given the teacher respect. No exceptions. You understand? The same way when I go and I negotiate contracts and things of that nature, these individuals that's inside of these positions are in these positions for a reason, and they will be given respect. And I demand it also. In the moment that I deem as though respect is not been given unto me, we cut ties. We end whatever negotiations that we have in that moment for that day. You understand?
Yes, sir.
So, because again, you all cannot control the actions of others, but you can control how you react to what they do. And God is saying you will be judged off of it, whatever your reaction is. So now, 6, not with eye service as men pleasers, but as the servants of Christ, doing the will of God from the heart. So what it's saying is this: Don't do this. Nor I say, hey, y'all go clean y'all room, and then now you want to come tell me how you had to clean the whole room up by yourself, and Yahweh didn't help you. And I tell you every time, son, well, you should have left your stuff in the floor, right where it said, or you should have came and got me, because it's unfair for you to have to clean up that whole room by yourself. But see, you doing what you're doing to be men pleasers. I'm gonna please my dad by cleaning up all this stuff by myself. I never asked you to do that. You go get what's yours, he gonna get what's his. You understand? Same way with you. Same thing go for you, sir. Verse 7. With good will doing service as to the Lord and not to men. So again, when y'all do what y'all do, y'all doing this to please God, not to please your supervisor, your boss, your teacher. You're doing it to please God, because God said that you must be obedient unto those that have positions of authority over you, as though it's Christ. And guess what? The moment when God deemed this rulership or this position of authority to be being abused, God would just solely move these people out the way. It will be just that simple. All right. Verse 8. Knowing that whatsoever good thing any man doeth, the same shall he receive of the Lord, whether he be bound or free. So what it's saying is this. It don't matter if you freely doing this, or if you paid to do this, or obligated to do this. You doing this and you doing this to God, for God, with the glory of God. Because God gonna see and God gonna reward. Do you understand? You all might in your life end up in a situation where you choose a wife, and in the moment that you chose the wife, she was so perfect. Y'all was gelling together and y'all was growing together, and next thing you know, she just a thorn in your side. But you don't then not be a good husband, because she's not being a good wife. Because God see the good husband that you're maintaining and you're still striving to be. And God gonna deal with her, because the last thing you want as men being the heads of your family is to be in a situation where you're doing something because somebody else did something and God deal with you twice as much. The punishment will come twice as hard. Do y'all understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, let's go over here to Ephesians. Nope. We're gonna go to Leviticus, and I'm finna show y'all something. All right, let's go to the law so y'all can understand what it is that I'm talking about. Like, watch this. We're gonna go to Leviticus chapter 19. Matter of fact, hold on. Okay. Okay. Watch this. This is how you do a self-calibration. This is how you do a self-calibration, right? This is how you check yourself and keep yourself in line and in order. You compare what it is that you're doing to what the law, statutes, commandments, ordinances say of God. You understand? Now watch this. Watch this, right? Leviticus chapter 19. Yes. Leviticus chapter 19, verse 13. It says, thou shalt not defraud thy neighbor, neither rob him. The wages of him that is hired shall not abide with thee all night until the morning. So what they're saying is this: if you strike a deal and you say that you're gonna render some type of services, goods, or money to somebody for them doing whatever it is that y'all agreed upon, pay them what you owe. That's what they're saying. So now, when you say, well, I gave Noah this car because I wanted my brother to have this car, but then when he don't want to play with you by your rules, you want to take the car back. Verse 14. Thou shalt not curse the deaf, nor put a stumbling block before the blind, but shall fear thy God. I am the Lord. So now, curse the deaf. If someone is deaf, that means that they're not in control over them being deaf. And now you want to talk down and bad about them having an ailment that they themselves cannot control. You short, you midget. God said, don't do that. God said, do not put a stumbling block before the blind. You understand that what you're about to do, they don't have the same knowledge as you, but you still do it, and then they get in trouble for doing what you just did. And then you sit back and you like, yeah, but I didn't do that like that. But you knew when you did that they was gonna go to that extreme. But you think that because you didn't go to that extreme, that you shouldn't be punished for it. The problem is that you neglected to be a big brother, an older brother, and give guidance, set the example. Here's what we read. Putting a stumbling block before the blind. God said, but shall fear thy God. I am the Lord. And watch this. Right? Verse 15. Ye shall do no unrighteousness in judgment. Thou shalt not respect the person of the poor, nor honor the person of the mighty. But in righteousness shalt thou judge thy neighbor. Yeah, you know how your cousins come over here, and now your cousins could see and play with all the stuff that your brothers couldn't. Yeah, you know how Junebug and Queen come over, and now Junebug and Queen got leisure and the liberty to touch things that your little brothers couldn't touch. Now they feel some type of way. They're like, well, wait a minute. Now I thought you said can nobody see that. Yeah, you know how when King come over, yeah, and King could play with certain stuff that your Howard couldn't touch. And then now you playing with King, and then you neglect your Howard. Yeah, God said don't do that. God said, verse 16. Thou shalt not go up and down as a talebearer among thy people, neither shalt thou stand against the blood of thy neighbor. I am the Lord. Mama Noah won't give me this. Mama Noah won't give me that. Mama Noah said this. Mama Jeremiah did that. Mama Noah put his shoe on the wrong foot. Mama Noah too tied. He tied the left shoe before he tied the right shoe. Mama Noah ain't setting the 2-minute timer. When I get ready to go in there, he's setting it before me. Mama Noah washing his face before me. God said, don't go up and down as a talebearer. You know how you do. You go tell everybody business and everything. I don't know what you're telling. I'm telling that business too. Yeah, I'm looking at you. God said. Verse 18. Oh no. My bad. I ain't done. It says, neither shalt thou stand against the blood of thy neighbor. Mr. Noah. That boy hit Yahweh and he just laid there and the boy stood over him. And what was you? Should have been there to help your brother. Verse 17. Thou shalt not hate thy brother in thine heart. Thou shalt in no wise rebuke thy neighbor. thou shalt in any wise rebuke thy neighbor and not suffer sin upon him. So if y'all seeing each other doing wrong, son, stop playing with me, man. So if y'all seeing each other, if y'all see somebody doing wrong, then y'all supposed to correct them. Don't be talking about you gonna just sit back and let them get in trouble. That's them. They should never did it. Send them a warning. Verse 18. Thou shalt not avenge nor bear any grudge against the children of thy people, but thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. I am the Lord. So now if you will want to get in trouble for what it is that they doing, then you need to inform them of what it is that they doing. Go on, sit down. Inform them of what it is that they doing. You understand? Now, let's go over to Luke chapter 12. Because y'all got to understand this now. See, because y'all not in normal situations. Y'all in situations that y'all are being informed about things that take some adults years into adulthood to understand. Go over to Luke chapter 12. Now I'm gonna have to break this down for you because this thing is a little bit, over your heads. All right. We're in Luke chapter 12, right? You want to start at verse 43. And it reads, blessed is that servant whom his Lord, when he cometh, shall find so doing. Right? So now, if the master, the Lord, right? It's capital L, a lowercase L, the supervisor, boss, parent, big brother, the person that's in position of authority gives orders, commandment, or instructions for y'all to follow. It's like whoever doing what they supposed to be doing, their duties, they will be blessed, right? When the person who gave them the orders, commands, or instructions to do, when they come and they see them doing it, they'll bless them. Verse 44. Of a truth, I say unto you, that he will make him ruler over all that he has. So now, again, Jeremiah, you're not in a position you in just because you firstborn, son. You're in a position that you in, son, because you earned it. Do you understand? You have the liberty that you have, son, because you earned it. When I said do this, I came and then I found you doing it. So therefore, you became ruler over all that he had. This is what Christ is saying. This is what he's instructing. Verse 45 reads, and if that servant say in his heart, my Lord delayeth his coming, meaning if the servant say, man, my dad said he's going to be here at 5, it's 6 o'clock, he ain't here, and shall begin to beat the men servants and maid servants, and do eat and drink, and to be drunken. And my dad said he's going to be here at 5 o'clock, he ain't here yet. Now I get to talk to Noah and Yahweh any type of way I want to talk to him. I get to do whatever I want to do to him. Noah said, hey, dad said he gonna be here by this time. He ain't here yet, man. Yahweh, man, gone, whatever. I ain't gotta play with you, boy. I beat your butt. All that. Yeah, do what y'all do, right? Watch this. Verse 46 says, the Lord of that servant will come in a day when he looketh not for him. So now, when I do arrive, or when your boss, supervisor, teacher, or when God do come, Jesus do come, right? It says, at an hour when he is not aware. So you ain't gonna know. And will cut him in sunder, meaning you gonna get beat purple, blue, and black. You will be chastised in ways where you might be wishing for death, but won't get it. Do you understand what it's saying? And will appoint him his portion with the unbelievers. So now, if the liberty that you have been given be taken away from you because of your abuse, it ain't the master's fault. It's your fault as the servant, right? Verse 47 says, and that servant, which knew his Lord's will and prepared not himself, neither did according to his will, shall be beaten with many stripes. So what this saying is that for those of us that know what God has said for us to be doing, what God has commanded for us to be doing, we will receive our just due. But watch this, is more to it. Verse 48. This, Jeremiah, this is why you will get in trouble at a greater, to a greater extent than they would get in trouble, right? If y'all doing the same thing. This is why, verse 48, and it reads, but he that knew not and did commit things worthy of stripes shall be beaten with few stripes. What this saying is that if God's tell you, like if I teach you, thou shalt not steal, and you still steal, right? But I don't teach them, thou shalt not steal, and they still steal. God is saying that he's going to punish you way harsher than them because they wasn't taught. Don't mean that they're not going to get punished for breaking that said law, commandment, or instructions. They still going to get punished, but not worse as you because you have been taught. You understand? That's what they're saying. So what you might look at it and say, that's unfair. We did the same thing, but I got treated harshly or harsher. God telling you why. Jesus telling you why it's like that, because you had more liberty because of what you knew, because of what you were taught, because of what you were given. So even though y'all did the same thing, you knew better and still did it. They did it. So now let's get back to it, right? So it says, for unto whom much is given, of him shall be much required. If you get a lot, it's gonna be a lot required from you. Call home the other day, hey, need me to come to the property? Nope. Tell Jeremiah, I said, pull all that stuff off on the side of that shed and all this and all that. I didn't say tell Jeremiah knowing Yahweh. I said tell Jeremiah. And Jeremiah gonna delegate the work down to knowing Yahweh as he see fit. But much is given, much is required. Do you understand? Now, the end of verse 48 says, and to whom men have committed much, of him they will ask the more. Ain't nowhere in the world you're going to tell me that you're going to be obedient and do all that out there in that shit and everything that I asked for, and you ain't finna have something that you finna ask for in return. It's going to be something down the pipeline, but we're going to read this last portion again because I want you to understand the order in which things work. And the end of 48 says, and to whom men have committed much, to whom men have chosen to serve, to trust, right? To be obedient to, they expect more from them. So if I'm looking at Jeremiah saying, Jeremiah, go over and pull all this stuff out on the side of that shed. And I said, I know it's a lot of stuff on the side of that shed. I know it's a lot of stuff over there. You know it's a lot of stuff over there. You go over there and do it. I can't get mad at you when you come and say, Dad, I want this. Now, if what you're asking for is equivalent to the amount of work that you have done, then it will be granted. But now, what if what you're asking for is way more than the amount of work that you have done, then the negotiation will be had. You understand what I'm saying? Again, I'm gonna read it one more time so you have a better understanding. We're gonna start over at verse 48 at the top. But he that knew not and did commit things worthy of stripes shall be beaten with few stripes. For unto whosoever much is given, of him shall be much required. And to whom men have committed much, of him they will ask the more. Right? So now, with that being said, you must understand that you, being the oldest, you don't have the liberty to abuse the position of authority that you have been given. You understand? That's why your mama say, we're in here, so don't you be physical with them. You understand? This is why she's saying that, because you don't have the liberty, you don't have the freedom to abuse your position of authority. You understand? That's what that is. All right. The same way that they know that they're supposed to listen to you. So if they don't listen to you, they will be beaten. They will be beaten with many stripes. You understand? Now, the cousins and the other relatives come to our household and they don't listen to you. They will be beaten. They will be beaten with fewer stripes. You understand? That's the difference, because they know better. They've been told. They've been warned. This is how this flows down the pipeline. The same way that I'm in the position that I'm in, and God has basically bestowed upon me certain levels of knowledge and understanding that I have been entrusted with. So now if I abuse that by manipulating situations in the scriptures, He gonna come deal with me. I don't care if the advice that I'm giving goes against my ideology, my way of life. I must be fair and honest. Do you understand? That's what that is. I don't care if the advice that I'm giving go against me and to my disadvantage. I must render righteous judgment. You understand? All right. So y'all ain't got but a few more. Let's go over here to Romans chapter 13. Right? Because we have to understand why certain individuals are in place. We have to understand why we aren't in positions of rulership and leadership and stuff like that. And when we do get in these positions, we cannot be a harsh ruler the way that we were harshly ruled over, right? So now, and I'm saying this because you'll have a lot of Israelite brothers say that we do not supposed to, there isn't a Bible verse for us to abide by the laws of the land. This is what they will say, right? But we finna break this down to see what Paul is actually saying and why he's saying it the way he's saying it, right? You've been in the car with me plenty of times. When the police get behind me, before they even cut their lights on, what I do? Pull over. You see what I'm saying? But what we about to read is why I gone and pull over. Because I know that there is no offense from me to them, so the protection from God will be given to me in these situations. Because they ain't looking for me, because I ain't robbed nobody, I ain't stole that, I ain't broke no laws. So come on, man, do your job, because I have things that I have to do. I got a family that I have to get home to, and I'm pretty sure you got things you got to do, and a family that you have to get home to too. So come on, do your job so I can go. You understand? As long as you give me respect, I will give you respect, and I will respect your badge. But the moment that you try to abuse your position of authority because of your badge is the moment that I will properly and respectfully put you in your place with the power and protection of God. Do y'all understand? So now let's read this. This is Romans chapter 13, and we're going to start out at verse 1. Let every soul be subject unto the higher power, for there is no power but of God. The powers that be are ordained of God. So now if a police officer is in a position of being a police officer, he has been ordained from God to hold that position. I don't care if you're a crooked cop, a racist cop, a prejudiced cop, I don't care. He's been ordained from God to hold that position. The same way if you got a boss or a supervisor that's a straight up a-hole. If you got a teacher that's a straight up butt white, I don't care. God placed them in that position, right? Now watch this. Verse 2. Whosoever therefore resisteth the power, resisteth the ordinance of God. God ordained them to be there. So now you're resisting God ordaining them to be in this position. So you're no longer resisting them, but you're resisting God. Do you understand? Now watch this. And they that resist shall receive to themselves damnation. Do you understand? Meaning destruction. You will be destroyed. So now you thinking that because you write the teacher wrong, you finna tell the teacher off. No, that's not how that goes. See, you don't have the protection of God, because in this moment, you're not, it's not them that you're going against. It's actually God that you're going against, and you will be destroyed through them in their position of authority. This is what this is saying. This is what Paul is getting into. Verse 3. For the rulers are not a terror to good works. Again, I don't care if it's a racist police officer. It can be a redneck racist, backwood, prejudice police. I wouldn't care, because they won't be a terror unto me, because I possess good works within the moment. You understand? So when they get behind me and I chain lane, they chain lane too. I'm gonna go and pull over. We need to go and get this over with. I don't need you to waste no more of your time, because you're not a terror unto me. I'm gonna pull on over. You're gonna get out your car and you're gonna try to figure out why you pulled me over. Because I pulled over. You ain't pulled me. You understand? So now let's finish. It says, but to the evil. See, this is saying that those that are in positions of rulership aren't a terror. Those that are good aren't scared, terrified by those that are in positions of rulership, because they haven't done anything evil. They haven't done anything to be judged of God. So they're not afraid. This is what Paul is saying, right? So now it says, wilt thou then be afraid of the power? So you're asking the question, would you be afraid of the power if you ain't did nothing wrong? Right? Do that which is good, and thou shalt have praise of the same. This is why I go and pull over, man. When I pull over there, hey, man, look, man, I don't know why you pulled over. I pulled over because when I changed lane, you got behind me. I pulled on over because whatever it is you need to do, I need you to go on and do it quickly, because I got a family to get home to. Hey, man, this brother ain't got nothing going on. Even if he had a spirit upon him to inflict harm upon me, that spirit just got dealt with, checked, and calmed by me. Do you understand? I'm teaching y'all how to carry yourself when y'all go out into the world. You understand?
Yes, sir.
So now I'm not telling you to be a pushover. That's not what I'm saying. What I am saying is this. I'm saying understand those that are in positions of authority, and understand when they're operating within the confinements of what they have been given authority over. Because the authority that they have been given is ordained of God. And if it wasn't, they wouldn't have that authority. It's just that simple. Do y'all understand? I don't care what nobody else teach y'all. Nobody on this earth could do anything without the permission of God. So now if we get a president and his president say, we want slavery back, I don't give a damn if they say they want slavery back and they're trying to enforce it. God put them in that position. And if God didn't want us to go into captivity, slavery, God will remove them off the table. It's just that simple. Or God will put a spirit upon you that you will not be able to resist. And then at that moment, you will fight back. It's just that simple. Do y'all understand?
Yes, sir.
But what I'm telling you is this. Don't y'all think that just because y'all right, that y'all gonna show them off or tell them how wrong they are. Do you understand? As long as they're operating within the confinements of the authority that they have been given from being ordained from God, they have the protection of God. That's what I'm trying to explain to y'all. All right? Verse 4. For he is the minister. What is a minister? Servant. He is the minister of God to thee for good. Watch this. Same situation with the police. He racist. He a redneck. He prejudiced. But you're doing good. Same officer that you said, that everybody else said was a racist, redneck, prejudice, all that. Somebody trying to rob you, breaking your house, he ride past, he see him, he stopped them from inflicting harm against you. So now we're going to read this again. Verse 4. For he is the minister of God to thee for good. The individual who has been labeled by our community as a redneck racist police officer just saved your family from being harmed because you're good and God have protected you. So he's not a terror unto you because you ain't did no evil. You did good. Verse 4. But if thou do that which is evil, be afraid. For he beareth not the sword in vain. Meaning, when he do what he do to you, it won't be in vain. Meaning, he ain't doing it for no reason at all. You did something evil. And God is allowing him to then judge you because he has been ordained to do it. And he's operating within the confinements of his authoritative position. This is what this verse is saying, right? It says, for he is the minister of God, a revenger to execute wrath upon him that doeth evil. You understand? Verse 5. Wherefore ye must need be subjected, not only for wrath, but also for conscience sake. For this cause pay ye tribute also, for they are God's ministers, attending continually upon this very thing. Render therefore to all their dues. Tribute to whom tribute is due, custom to whom custom, fear to whom fear, honor to whom honor. Right? Now, what Paul is saying is this. Everybody has a job to do. And when these individuals carry out their jobs, they deserve praise. I don't care if he's a redneck, racist, prejudice police. If this redneck, racist police comes save you and your family, because somebody that's of your nation got you at gunpoint and they're threatening to kill you, and they put them down, don't you go and say, yeah, man, I was that redneck racist. No, that man deserves praise. Do you understand me? This is what we're being instructed. He deserves praise, but don't you feel like you owe him? Yeah, hey, man, appreciate that. You did your job. No more, no less. I ain't do what? Nah, we ain't doing all that. You did your job. I appreciate you doing your job. That's it. That's all you're getting from me. You understand? All that you want me to bow down and no, we ain't doing that. I'm gonna look you eye to eye, stand up. We're gonna go fade to fade, eye to eye, just like me. I'm gonna give you appreciation for doing your job, no more, no less. That's it. Do you understand me? Do y'all understand me?
Yes, sir.
Now watch this, verse 8, and this is extremely important. Verse 8. Oh, no man anything. We're men. We work for what we get. What y'all get from me that y'all ain't work for? Okay, then. We men. We work for everything we get. Therefore, we earn it. You can't take it. This is mine. You ain't give me nothing. You can't take it if you ain't give it to me. I earned this. This is mine. You understand? You go to a job, you give them your time, they give you a paycheck. You can't take this from me. I earned it. You understand?
Yes, sir.
Now, verse 8. Oh, no man anything, but to love one another. For he that loveth another has fulfilled the law. See, there's no way that I can inflict harm to you if I love you. So I fulfill the law. If I love God, there's no way I can offend God if I love him. I fulfill the law. This is what Paul is saying. Oh, don't owe no man nothing. See, if I owe you, right, or if I need you to continue to do for me the thing that I need you to do, then when it comes time for me to tell you you're wrong, I won't be so quick to tell you you're wrong because I will be thinking about the thing that I need you to do, and you might not do it. So therefore, I would not be able to render righteous judgment. So I'll give you a prime example. You have some people that rely on the assistance of other people every month. They know that these people are out here doing stuff wrong. They know it. They know that these people are out here disrespecting other people, but they can't open their mouth and say, look, that what you did was wrong. Because they know that if they open their mouth and say, that right there that you did was wrong, the people who they need this assistance from will say, I ain't wrong. And by the way, I ain't going to help you. So they won't say that thing you did was wrong because they need them to help them. So again, oh no, man, earn everything you get. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
So that when it comes time to render righteous judgment, you can speak your mind and do thus says the Lord. All right.
Yes, sir.
Now, let's go down to 1 Peter. We're gonna go to 1 Peter chapter 4.
It's not the dream, it's gonna be there.
She just want to put it out. Or she wants us to acknowledge her. It's not a scary one. It's not a scary one.
Oh, no.
What is he doing?
I was gonna see that.
What is he doing?
Checking them out the window to see if the person out there.
All right, come on.
I told you that's what she doing.
Come on, we almost done. All right, we're gonna go to 1 Peter chapter 4, and we start in verse 8. Because you gotta understand this, right? So now if we're being instructed to owe no man nothing but to love one another, right? We gotta understand that love will cause for me to then protect you, even if it's against you. So I'll give you a prime example. Let's say, you know, I'm an alcoholic, right? I just drink too much. And I said, Jeremiah, I need you to send me $100. And you like, Dad, well, what you need $100 for? Because I just need it. And you like, well, Dad, listen, man, you drink too much, and I ain't trying to give you this $100 so you can buy you something to drink. That's love, son. You see what I'm saying? Because the Bible say we don't supposed to be drunkards. And now here I am getting drunk. So the love that you have for me causes for you to cover my sin of being drunk and operating in drunkenness and being considered a drunkard. Yes, sir. Okay. So now we're gonna go to 1 Peter chapter 4. And we're gonna go down to how you know?
Because you just said it.
Oh, okay. Number 8. All right. And above all things, have fervent charity among yourselves, for charity shall cover the multitude of sins. Charity is love. All right. So what it's saying is this: above everything, you have love for one another, because you having love for one another will cover the sins that one of each other may commit. You understand? If you, being an older brother, see them about to do something and you know that they're about to sin against God, you go pull them to the side. Hey, come on, man. You know you're going to be doing that. Why are you doing that? Man, well, you know, I'm doing this because of this, this, and this. Is that why you're doing that? Look, okay, how about this? How about you do this way, therefore you don't have to do that? See that? Because you're older, you're more wiser, so you can give them an insight that they could not see because you've lived longer and you have more experience than them. You understand? Because you've made that mistake yourself. So now you could say, don't do it like this. Because if you do it like this, you're going to offend God. You're going to offend mama. You're going to offend daddy. Or you're going to offend me. You understand? So you being in that position must always be mindful that you will always be in a teachable moment when it comes to them. You will always be in a situation where everything that you do will be scrutinized by them because they will look at you and say, well, you told us don't do this, but you did that. They'll come along with the territory, man. Don't look at it and be like, man, every time I try to tell y'all, some of y'all always got something to say. That's their job. Their job is to remind you of all the stuff that you done corrected them on, so you better not do it. This is how this goes. You understand? To whom much is given, much is required. All right? So now we got verse 9. Use hospitality one to another without grudging. You can't come in my room today. That's not being hospitable. Right? Y'all get it? You can't play with my toy today. You holding a grudge. You ain't playing with my toy today because you ain't let me play with yours yesterday. That's holding a grudge. That's what it's saying. Without grudging, you holding a grudge. That was yesterday, man. You didn't have me why I ain't let you see my toy yesterday. You had me yesterday why I ain't let you see my toy yesterday. I would have told you. Because when King was over here, you took your extra car from me and gave it to him. See there, you the one caused the offense first. But again, I'm not excusing your little brother for him not letting you see his car the next day because he really should have said something to you that day instead of holding the grudge the next day. And then here it is, he holding the grudge from 2 days ago and you holding the grudge from yesterday and everybody got grudges. Nah, get that out of the way. Deal with whatever problem y'all dealing with. Deal with it right then and there. Because that's what they're saying. Be hospitable. Welcome. Nice. You understand? To one another without grudging. Right? Verse 10. As every man hath received the gift, even so minister the same one to another, as good stewards of the manifold grace of God. So now, each one of y'all have blessings that God has given y'all from things that y'all have asked for. What they're saying is this. You received the gift from God, so you also should be looking to share knowledge, experience, and tangible things, spiritual things with one another, because God freely gave it to you. This is what this is saying, right? So that they could see the grace of God also. God is graceful, and you're going to be the example of God's grace by your actions towards one another. This is what this is saying. Verse 11. If any man speak, let him speak as the oracles of God. If any man minister, let him do it as of the ability which God giveth. What it's saying is this. Listen. Man, if you don't know, keep your mouth shut. God gave you that knowledge. God gave you that ability. Open your mouth and speak. But understand when he opened his mouth and speak, you be quiet. Because if he's speaking, then you must be learning because he's teaching. And whomever is speaking is teaching. And whomever is listening is learning. You can actually learn by others' mistakes as well. So you have your mouth closed. Let them finish saying whatever it is that they're saying. And once you see the mistakes in which they have said or made, you can learn from that as well. Do y'all understand?
Yeah.
This is why they're saying that the ability that God gave. Everybody don't have the ability to lead. Everybody don't have the ability to budget and communicate, right? Everybody don't have that ability. Y'all might end up in a situation where y'all get a wife and y'all wife may have the ability to do finances and you might not, which that would be rare because y'all can talk this, but I'm just saying you might not. It might be a deal that's way bigger than what you have the capacity to compute in that moment in time and space. That don't mean that you then demean her because she's a woman. she's your wife and you're the ruler. No, what makes you an efficient leader is your ability to say, here go the keys. I'm gonna sit in the passenger seat. You sit in the driver's seat, but I'm gonna be the GPS. Turn left. You better turn the damn car to the left. Turn right. You better turn this car to the right. You understand? And if she say, wait a minute, it's a pothole over there to the right, we're gonna go left. All right, yeah, all right, look, on left now, you better make 2 rights. Make that left, make 2 rights, back on course. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
That's how this goes. So now, that God, this is the end of verse 11, that God in all things may be glorified through Jesus Christ, to whom be praise and dominion forever and ever. Amen. Again, y'all got to remember that everything that we do for the honor and glory of God through Christ. And because we do this, we shall be watched over and judged by this order also. When you do something wrong, God say take his head out. Jesus said, hold on now. You remember I had died for that sin right there. Let me go talk to him real quick. Because over here in Hebrews chapter 10, verse 26 say that if any man sin willfully, there is no more sacrifice for that sin. So now if you doing something that you know you don't supposed to be doing, and Jesus come and say, hey, don't do that. Do the Holy Spirit. And you still do it. Hey man, listen, my blood ain't on that. No brother, my big brother blood ain't on that. Same way if the father say, hey, son, that you can't get out here and speed. Man, hey, listen to dad, man. I got a fast car. This car do 160 on the dash. I'm finna go do all of it. And then you get pulled over and then you get arrested for reckless driving. And don't call my phone. Dad, I'm locked up. Me and the car in jail. Can you bum me out? Nope. But you know I gotta go to work tomorrow. I'm going to work. I'm gonna lose my job. What? Look, man, I told you don't be speeding in that car. You went out there. How fast you going? 120? Oh, hell no, click. Daddy, don't hang up. I don't give a 1 free car, click. That's how the conversation gonna go. I'm telling you it is. So don't be surprised you call my phone and you get treated harshly or what you deem is harsh. But you'll be better out calling your mom. I'm telling you right now. Do y'all understand?
Yes, sir.
Try me, not gonna play. The messed up part about it is your mom gonna come to me and say, baby, Jeremiah, you know, he was out there, he was speeding. He wasn't going that fast. You know, he was going fast, but wasn't that fast. He needs you to come down there and get him out. You know, he's going to work tomorrow. Well, how fast he was going? Well, the speed don't really matter. What it is he in jail, and we got to get him out, and the car, because it's gonna cost more money. And now she's trying to appeal to the softer side and the logical side of me. You understand? To help you, to render assistance to you, because she knows she comes straight out of him. Hell no. What? He did what? What going 120? Who Lord? Glad they set him down. I'd rather for him to sit him down than for me to be picking his body up in pieces out the pavement. Go sit him down. And when I say that, your mom gonna be like, oh my God, I gotta go get my baby. Then your mom gonna call your Auntie Jessica, and your Auntie Jessica, she gonna tell Auntie Jessica, look, I'm gonna send this money, go down and get Jeremiah. Then your Auntie Jessica gonna be like, oh, wait a minute now. I'm gonna just go get him, because if you send me the money and I go get him, then Willie ask me how I got him out. Then I gotta say you gave me the money, and everybody get in trouble. So I'm gonna go get him out, and then you just tell him to pay me back my money. But you see how they went out? They could have got avoided, son, and you just listened to him and not been speed. You understand? Cool. I'm glad we was able to have this conversation about you speed and you doing the speed limit. Okay. Now we're finna go over here to Galatians chapter 5. Okay. We're gonna start at yep. Galatians chapter 5. We're gonna start at verse 13. Okay, now we at Galatians chapter 5.
Yes, sir.
All right, verse 13, right? And it reads, for brethren, Ye have been called unto liberty. So now, the bondage of the law was death. All right. Now, the liberty that Christ brings, right, is everlasting life. Okay. So what Paul is saying is that for brethren, ye have been called unto liberty, right? Eternal life, freedom, not bondage. That's what he's saying. It says, only use not liberty for an occasion to the flesh. So just because you have been freed from the bondage of death by the breaking of the law, that don't mean that you go out here and do whatever you please, do whatever you want, because it's still judgment that comes along with your liberty. It's just that that judgment is not now. So you might think that you're getting away with something, but then God come later on and make you hit your toe, or make you hit your hand, or make a ball pop you dead in the middle of your forehead. I already got him with a toe. I got him with his hand. I got him with the ball in the forehead. I got all of them. You might be saying he ain't hurt their son, but what you just did was you mocked God, and God will seek greater punishment. And see, watch this. That's why that little boy slouched in your face with that laptop. Let's say, I don't care, he did it. And it hurt. He cried. That's the point. You hurt, your feeling got hurt. No. Stop, son. You've been in the Bible, sir. Thank you. Now, the point that I'm making is this, right? Don't abuse the liberty that you have been given in Christ. All right. Now, the rest of it say, I'm going to start over. Top of 13. It says, for brethren, ye have been called unto liberty. Only use not liberty for an occasion to the flesh, but by love serve one another. So again, we're talking about brotherly love here. Brotherly love, serving one another. This is what this is referring to, right? Verse 14 says, for all the law is fulfilled in one word, even in this, thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. You understand?
Yes, sir.
So now we're commanded to love one another the same way we love ourselves. So if I'm hungry and I ain't ate nothing all day, and you've been with me all day, and I know you hungry too because you ain't ate nothing all day. You know, I buy myself something to eat. Even if I don't get you the same thing I get, man, I might get a whole meal, burger, fries, and a drink. I'm at least give you some of my fries. I might not fill you up, but I'm gonna feed you. You understand?
Yes, sir.
This is what this is saying. You're not obligated to take care of nobody, but you is obligated to have compassion, to have empathy. You're obligated for that. You're obligated to show brotherly love. You're obligated to that. God said that he who lends to the poor lends to the Lord. So now if you go buy food for the poor and you can afford it, son, get your hand out your mouth, and you can afford it, then you actually are lending to God, and God pay his debt. Do y'all understand?
Yes, sir.
All right. So now let's go over here because we finna sum this up. John, we're going to John chapter 15. Now, y'all at John chapter 15?
Yes, sir.
Okay, we're going to start at verse 1. Yes, sir. You know, over dice, man. I said John. We're going to start at verse 1. It's better that we start at verse 1.
No, come on, John, that's the baby.
Did you write your name on that son? Well, don't open it. Leave it right where it said. 1 second. We almost done.
Okay.
Okay. We at John chapter 15, verse 1. Okay. Now, understand this, that because we are chosen to follow Christ or be obedient as Christ unto God, we do not have the liberty of doing things that other families and people and nation do. Right now you got somebody out somewhere doing something that God said not to do on the Sabbath. We're observing the Sabbath. You understand? So now with that comes great responsibility, right? A great deal of discipline, right? So now watch this. We're John chapter 15, verse 1. This is Christ that's speaking. I am the true vine, and my Father is the husbandman. Every branch in me that beareth not fruit, he taketh away. So now, there's no way that you could say that you believe in Christ and don't do nothing that Christ say do. Christ said, if you love me, keep my commandments. So now Christ is saying right here that if you saying that you abide in him and you don't obey him, then God will remove you remove him from you and you from him, vice versa, right? You will not be able to stand in the presence of God without having the love of Christ. Because your fruits, the things that you do, will show what it is that you believe in, right? So it says, in every branch that bear fruit, he purges it, that it may bring forth more fruit, right? So now, give you an example. Because God has chosen me to be a steward right now in this moment, I'm trying my best to be a good steward and therefore teach y'all. And as I teach y'all, y'all will bring forth more fruit, and this fruit will be in Christ. Do y'all understand? So God then grows the fruit that is in me into y'all, and then it will be multiplied. Prime example. Now, I'm one person, right? God chose me to be in Jesus. Jesus then put the fruit in me, but I now have 3 sons sitting right here. I'm one person teaching 3 sons that the fruit then will be multiplied by 3. Do y'all understand what Christ is saying? Okay. Verse 3. Now ye are clean through the word which I have spoken unto you. So now the word, us reading the Bible, trying to keep laws, statutes, and commandments, changing the way we think, this is what is cleaning us up, because we don't try to commit sin on purpose, right? So the word, God word, is what is cleaning us up from a mental standpoint, right? Where we respect one another. This is why y'all don't always get in trouble, because y'all honor your mother and father. Do y'all understand? Okay. This is why I don't continuously get in trouble, because I don't provoke my children to jealousy. You understand? See, I don't continuously get in trouble because I treat my wife as Christ did unto the church and die for her. And she don't continuously get in trouble because she render respect unto me as Sarah did unto Abraham by submitting herself to me. Do y'all understand?
Yes, sir.
Everybody has something to do. And when you do what it is that you're supposed to do, good come from it. Okay? So now, verse 4. Abide in me, and I in you. As the branch cannot bear fruit of itself, except it abide in the vine. No more can ye, except ye abide in me. So Christ saying, y'all can't do that on your own. Whatever it is that you thinking that you're doing on your own, you ain't doing on your own. You're doing it by the grace, power, and authority of him. And anytime you get too far beside yourself and start taking his credit for your credit, then he will take that away. This is what he's saying. Do y'all understand? Cool. Verse 5 says, I am the vine, ye are the branches, meaning Christ is the vine and we are the branches. He that abideth in me and I in him, the same bringeth forth much fruit. For without me, ye can do nothing. Christ said, without him, you can't do nothing. Do y'all understand?
Yes, sir.
Verse 6. If a man abide not in me, he is cast forth as a branch and is withered. And men gather them and cast them into the fire, and they are burned. What Christ is saying is this. Christ said, as long as you do what I said to do, I will protect you. The moment that you say, I'm no longer listening to you, Christ, I'm no longer abiding by you, I no longer choose to abide under your protection, you will fall into the hands of those that have been put here to destroy you. Do y'all understand?
Yes, sir.
Cool. Verse 8. Herein is my Father glorified, that ye bear much fruit. So shall ye be my disciples. See, what Christ is saying is this. When you bear fruit, you give the glory to God through Christ, and God is then glorified in Christ through you. This is what he's saying. God said, I share my glory with no man. And nobody else sitting beside me. This is what God is saying. God said, give me mine. Everything that's coming to me, you give it to me. You understand?
Yes, sir.
Verse 9. As the Father hath loved me, so have I loved you. Continue ye in my love. If ye keep my commandments, ye shall abide in my love, even as I have kept my Father's commandments and abide in his love. These things have I spoken unto you, that my joy might remain in you, and that your joy might be full. So now, you have a lot of people out here in this world. They've never experienced what real joy, peace, and serenity is like. You understand? For them, life is just so hard. They always down. They always depressed. They always stressed. That's because they don't abide in the love of Christ. You see, Christ said, your yoke is hard. His yoke is easy. Take his yoke and put it on you, and take your yoke and put it on him. Christ saying, look, the problem that you got, take them and give them to me, and I will give you a solution. I will give you peace. But a lot of people don't know Christ. A lot of people don't know the God of the Bible. This is why they carry burdens, pain, hurt, disappointment, hardship, depression, stress on them. This is why you see people and they actually be young in age, but they look older in their facial features. You understand?
Yes, sir.
So what y'all gonna do, you all will take the problems that you have to Christ, and you're gonna give it to Christ, and Christ gonna give you a solution, and that solution gonna bring you peace. Do y'all understand?
Yes, sir.
Cool. So now, verse 12. This is my covenant, that ye love one another. Commandment. This is my commandment, that ye love one another as I have loved you. So again, here we see again, Christ is saying, y'all supposed to love each other. All this bickering and arguing and fighting that y'all been doing lately. He said that, no, you ain't going to do that. You ain't holding no grudges. Yahweh, no grudges. Lord, he said the 2 minute time and wait on me, so I ain't got to wait on him. No grudges. Christ said that I'm commanding you all to love one another the same way that he loves y'all. You understand? This is why. Verse 13. Greater love have no man than this. Christ said, ain't no greater love in the world that a man can possess than this right here, doing this right here. It says that a man lay down his life for his friend. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Y'all could say y'all love one another and all that. Christ said, ain't no greater love than when you saying, listen, I'm gonna go through that for you. Wait, that's hard for you to do? I'll do it. Wait, I'm not gonna let you go through that by yourself. This is what Christ's saying. Ain't no greater love than that. This is what he's saying. There is no greater love than when a man lay down his life for his friend. But watch this. Because Christ laid down his life for us. But watch this. Verse 14. Ye are my friends, if ye do whatsoever I command you. Again, I have no problem with staying at a property 24 hours a day to sacrifice my time, energy, and effort to ensure that you all have security, provision, guidance, influence that y'all need. Just as long as y'all abide by thus says the Lord, rules and regulations of your mama and daddy. The moment that y'all decide that if you daddy ain't listening to you no more, these sacrifices will no longer be afforded to you. Do you understand? Your mama might still do it, but I'm telling you right now, I'm dead serious. I'm not playing with you. All that going to go, everybody got their own game and their own TV. Two of y'all in the room, but it's 3 TVs and not no. I'm taking game, I'm taking TVs and all that. Those type of provisions will no longer be rendered unto you. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Just that simple. Jeremiah, you got the key to any car out there. Get in the car, you can switch cars up for every day of the week if you want to. You come in, you be disobedient and think you're going to talk and move how you want to. Man, or you won't even be riding that scooter. You let them feet ball. You won't even ride the bike. I ain't lying. You're going to be walking where you need to go. Now, you got a little job. You're going to walk there.
Oh.
Yeah, you're going to walk.
I used to walk.
I know. By choice, not obligation. Them two different things. All right. Do y'all understand it though?
Yes, sir.
All right. So now, verse 15. Henceforth, I call you not servants, for the servant knoweth not what his Lord doeth, but I have called you friends. For all things that I have heard of my Father, I have made known unto you. Christ said, I ain't hiding that from you. Christ said, I come in a position of authority that's way greater than yours. But I've shared these things with you so that you and I could operate as friends and not master and servant relationship. See, the servant don't know what the master do. This is what Christ is saying. You know exactly what I came to do. You know my mindset. You know my plans. Same way with every last one of y'all. We talk and we communicate on the level that you all will be elevated on. Do y'all understand?
Yes, sir.
And so with all that being said, all this bickering, arguing, fighting, manipulation, being disobedient, that's it. Everybody have the mental capacity and ability to express themselves in words. So the arguing and the fighting do not have to be. No, man, look, you just did this. Nah, I ain't got to do that. Well, Howard, I did that because you did this, man. It's just that simple. Man, look, y'all ain't seeing my game because y'all broke my stuff. Well, Jeremiah wasn't me, it was Noah. Noah, man, wasn't me, it was Yahweh. Well, Jeremiah, when I got it, it was already broke. Oh, man, look, yeah, you right. My bad, man. Look, you know, I'm gonna go work that off. Get you your money to replace that. Do y'all understand?
Yes, sir.
This is how we moving. This is how we communicating. This is how we dealing with one another. Y'all gonna respect each other's space and each other's property. The same way that y'all want y'all space and y'all property respected. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
All right. Anybody got anything they want to say based off of what was said? The floor is open. Do y'all understand? The floor is open. I'm listening. Because if ain't nobody got nothing to say and y'all get to argue 10 minutes after we get up from the table, y'all gonna have to deal with me. Y'all got anything y'all want to say to one another?
So y'all just gonna get along perfect.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. That's your mama.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We done got excited saying yes, sir. Like he get camp.
You got something you want to say to them?
Me? To them? I wanted y'all to take heed to what was said because I don't like to see y'all get in trouble. I don't like to see y'all get whooped. Okay, so please get along and don't make me mad. 'Cause I like to whoop.
Wow, look, you seen his face.
Dude, this guy, yeah, I grabbed my belt quick like you come they butt, beat they butt.
Oh, I'm talking about him.
He think I ain't gonna whoop him until I do it. Then you look him like he did look at me like it wasn't even that serious.
Hmm. Do you have anything you want to say to me?
I love you, baby. You did good on your sermon today. What was that? Because what is it called
That's what it's called.
when you do that?
This is just be a lesson.
On your lesson today. It was a
Lesson
good
or discussion. It's mainly a discussion because it's open floor, open
The
forum.
children needed that.
Now, I got something I want to say to you
I
though.
got something I want to say.
Speak on, young sir.
No, do something to me at school.
School?
Listen,
Boy, I ain't
son.
even around you at school.
Listen,
I'm an ace.
I got it.
In the car.
Son, listen. You have the words that you know you want to say. What I'm telling you is y'all don't need to be in here arguing and fighting. You can have a discussion. That's fine. It's the arguing and the fighting. It's the grudge holding. You ain't let me see this, so I ain't gonna let you see that. That's the problem. That's the issue. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
You too. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yes, sir.
And if all else fail, you have a mama, dad, an older brother, and an older sister, son. You understand me?
Yes, sir.
Now you
No.
gonna be trying to say these folks. He ain't even gonna work. Ain't even so listen, I'm telling y'all now that your mama trying to say y'all won't work. So don't think you got an ace in the hole where you can go lay up on the mama. Mama, we just said I'm sorry. I'm sorry, mama. It ain't gonna work. Do everybody understand?
Yes, sir.
Your mama said that it's like whatever. Whatever. Okay now. Everybody know.
Outside.
It is. Oh, yeah.
No, let me
Can
have
paint the house now. Can paint.
Take it from me.
See, that's what I should have did at first.